growing up and going through 12 years of school, there's one thing that's drilled into our brains. We must study hard in order to go to college. But many of us will find out that we cannot fulfill that dream. What happens when either you or your family makes too much money in order to get federal funding? Many families fall into this category. Federal funding is available for those that qualify, but the requirements are either too steep or the money does not cover all the expenses for college. The federal funding is in the form of a federal Pell Grant. Federal Pell Grants are limited to those individuals that are going to school for their first bachelor's degree. It is based on your EFC or your expected family contribution, or money out of pocket. Financial need requirements are very subjective. The government does not publish the amount of income that is fully based for federal need. However, reports do show that that families that made either $30,000 or less were awarded federal Pell Grants. $30,000 is not hard to reach. After doing research, I have found that this system needs to be changed. Over the next few moments, I plan on sharing with you those reasons. There are two important factors that are not being added into the current system. That's going to be your cost of living and household expenses. Living in places like California, DC, New York, LA, your cost of living is going to be higher. It's going to cause you to have more expenses. In 2007 and 2008, federal Pell Grants were awarded to 27% of all undergraduate students. It's 27% in an amount of $2,600. 34% of all undergraduates had to take out student loans to cover the rest of the cost of tuition. It's only 27%. That's just barely over a quarter. You know, where does the rest of the money come from? Well, it's going to come out of your pocket. Next, we're going to talk about those who are being affected. Most students that are being affected are those who are working either full or part-time or going to school full or part-time. I happen to be one of those students. On average, college tuition for a 4-year degree is around $7,600 per year. The current amount for out-of-state students is going to be around $11,990. It's almost $12,000 a year just to go to college for an out-of-state student. I also should know that because I am an out-of-state student. The higher the tuition, less financial aid equals more working families. More people are going to have to work just to survive and go to school. Now, how do we solve this? There's two ways. First is going to be we need to add into the EFC your cost of living as well as how much your household expenses are. The more you work, the more your cost of living, the more you're going to have to work in order to survive. Those of us that are working college students are being penalized for having to survive. So, what do we have to do? Well, the current system does need to be reevaluated. It does not allow for working families in order to be able to survive and go to school to provide for their families. If you increase the amount of income for funding, take into account the cost of living, as well as take into account family expenses, we have a better way of fulfilling that dream.